Ah yes, the Xbox Series X, or should I just say Project Scarlet. Don't know why I said it like that. Moving on. This is the most powerful console ever made by Microsoft, and I mean, it's a beast in every sense of the word. Well, we know that it's a hulking bit of a kit, but one that has the power to deliver true-to-life visuals and blazing fast load times. And if you ask me what games you can play on it, it's like asking, why is the sky blue? And why is LeBron James good at basketball? You know, there are so many that you will need to be reborn again to complete all of them. No, not really. I mean, I might be exaggerating, but it's really almost too good to be true. So, in my opinion, not every title is worthy of your precious gaming hours. And there's a lot of them. But not to worry, because I've picked a few of the best creme de la creme Xbox Series X games of all time that you must play before taking your last breath. Again, I'm kind of over-exaggerating, but you get the point. I bet this 2024 list will make it worth your time on this planet, okay? Sorry again, I know I get a bit dramatic. All right, let's get started and find out which games made it to the top. The first game on our list that still reminds us of why the fighting game genre is an enduring legend is Street Fighter 6. While I'm sure most of you have already played this classic series, the latest installment takes everything we love about Street Fighter and adds a new twist to keep things fresh. The open world structure and realistic graphics are so immersive that you'll feel like you're right in the middle of all the action. What I love about the SF6 is the World Tour mode, where you can explore the game's world and engage in thrilling battles with other opponents. And with the Series X 4K capabilities, haha, it's very nice, you'll get to experience every punch, kick, and Hadouken in crisper detail than before. Now, if you're a fan of frantic survival horror games that make every hair stand on end and you feel like you need to take a poop because you're so scared, Alan Wake 2 is a game that will truly push the limits of your bravery and your colon. And you will get immersed in a nightmarish world unlike any other. Well, if you ask me, it literally feels like you're living inside of a nightmare. Like, the story is so gripping and it's full of twists and turns and you won't be able to take your eyes off the screen. I didn't for hours. My eyes hurt. And listen, let me tell you, it's not for the faint of heart, unless you're an adrenaline junkie addict and you just love being scared. And I know there's people like that out there. All right, now let's move on. Who doesn't love a good futuristic superhero game? Well, yes, there are many awesome titles like the Marvel's Avengers, Marvel's Midnight Suns, and Overwatch 2 that'll make you jump off your seat. I will say, one of my personal favorites is Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. This action-packed game is loaded with so much goodness that you really will forget everything else. From its engrossing gameplay to its intriguing storyline, it's really interesting. The game has it all, and if you ask me, it's about friendship, teamwork, and saving the world from evil. I mean, come on, who doesn't want that? Sometimes it's nice when things are simple, okay? Good guy versus bad guy. Good guy wins. Yes, I like that story. It's a good plot line. Very good, I can follow along. So yeah, make sure to add this superhero game to your collection. Now, the next one I'm going to mention is probably one of the most earth-shattering, amazing games of all time. You know exactly what I'm talking about, right? No? Well, Elden Ring. Hello. This game is epic, and it's so full of surprises that you will need an eternity to fully uncover everything it has to offer and maybe some therapy afterwards, because it can get really frustrating. Anyways, it likes to reward your curiosity in every way possible, be it items, runes, or a pathway to another area, and let me tell you, this story's gonna be one of your all-time favorites. But beware, it's not for those who like to be spoon-fed, okay? I mentioned therapy earlier. You have to actually work, and sometimes you get frustrated, like I did. And you really have to explore and figure things out on your own. And it's really rewarding, in my opinion. Now, for newbies, though, it's probably like really traumatizing, but once you get used to it, it's really, there's no going back. Now, my peoples, if you've ever played Assassin's Creed Valhalla, oh, so good, you might be familiar with the open world hack and slash gameplay. Oh, it is thrilling, it is so good. We're talking about Assassin's Creed and Vikings, people! What more could you want? I know. The Viking adventure that's full of raiding, pillaging, and some very intense axe-throwing action is very fun. But if you want to go back to the roots of the franchise and experience a more stealth-based action, then Assassin's Creed Mirage is for you. This game will take you on a journey to ancient Arabia, where you'll discover the rich and culturally diverse world of the 9th century. And believe me, it's not all about assassinations like Valhalla. You'll learn so much about history just by playing this game. It's like going to history class in high school, but it's way more fun. Moving on to our next title. Now, this one I think might just blow your minds and redefine the RPG genre as we know it. I bring you Starfield. The fantastical world of this game, boy, it is a nice blend of sci-fi and fantasy elements, and they like to keep you hooked for hours on end. With over 100 planets, each with its own unique landscapes, creatures, and stories to explore, this game is a sci-fi lover's dream come true, and the best part, you can build your own spaceship! I'm so excited. And you get to see it in the cutscenes, and you're like, oh, there it is, there's my baby! There's my baby, look at it! I mean, how cool is that, right? No? Moving on. Now listen, if you like Street Fighter 6, you will love the latest installment in the Mortal Kombat franchise. Haha. Mortal Kombat 1. This 2023 fighting game takes the brutality and gore of its predecessors to a whole new level. The gameplay is phenomenal and the roster is a dream come true for fans of the series. Plus, with the new cameo system, you can switch between fighters during battles for more strategic and dynamic gameplay. And let's not forget about those
fatalities.
Trust me, they're even more gruesome this time around. It's kind of nauseating, really. Now, another game that will make you feel alive, well, maybe not exactly, is The Lies of P. This action-packed, soul-like game is inspired by the classic tale of Pinocchio, but with a dark twist. The game is set in a unique universe where everything seems to be alive and out to get you, and you're like, ah, crap. Like from trees that try to grow back their branches after being cut down, to dolls that come to life. Ugh, don't like them. The Lies of P will keep you on your toes as you try to survive its challenging gameplay. Just like Bloodborne, this game will also test your patience and skills in combat, but don't worry, there's actually a really satisfying feeling of beating down a tough boss that makes it all worthwhile. Alright, moving on. Now look, I'm not saying that the previous versions of Star Wars were not good, but I will say this. This newer title, Jedi Survivor, oh lordy, this is definitely a game that surpasses its predecessors by far. Like, this 2023 version is bigger, bolder, and more thrilling than ever before, and I guarantee you that you won't regret giving it a try, okay? The game focuses on tight level design rather than map style, which is quite rare in this age of sprawling games. In terms of gameplay, the mechanics, story, and acting are a massive expansion from what we've seen in Star Wars Fallen Order. So, be sure to add it to your Xbox Series X games list if you want to experience an out-of-this-world gaming adventure, and if you're a Star Wars nerd like me. Now, this is what we call nostalgia overload. RoboCop Rogue City. Now, this is a 2023 first-person shooter game that will take you back in time to the 80s and 90s. Personally, I'm a huge fan of RoboCop films, and this game does justice to the franchise. Teyon, the developers of this game, have also worked on other iconic titles like Terminator and Rambo. And just like those games, RoboCop Rogue City stays true to its source material, thank the good Lord. From the amazing shooting mechanics to the blood and gore, you'll feel like you're part of the movie. Now, I can't not talk about the top Xbox Series X games without mentioning Halo Infinite. Like, that'd be like sacrilegious. This game is like a perfectly cooked, delicious steak. Tasty. You will get an experience that you just can't get enough of. Still, in 2024, Halo Infinite is considered a gem by fans and critics alike. The return of the roots of Halo is what makes this game stand out from its predecessors, with a gripping storyline, brilliant gameplay mechanics, and some really sweet graphics. Halo Infinite has all the elements that make it a must-play game on the Xbox Series X console. Now look, I could go on and on and on about how awesome this game is, and then I'll be like, ah, shoot! I've turned this thing into a Halo video, and I don't want to do that, okay? But trust me, check out this game. This is something you really need to experience for yourself. Moving on. We gotta talk about Forza Motorsport 2023. This is a game that will take your breath away with its stunning graphics and realistic racing experience, cause like, hello, Forza Horizon 5 was an epic experience, but this game, woo! This game is like a nice glass of whiskey, matured and refined. It's really nice. With the Xbox Series X power, Forza Motorsport promises to deliver an unparalleled racing experience with improved handling, dynamic weather conditions, I like that part, and more realistic car damage, thank you. In my imagination, I can already hear the revving of engines and the smell of burning rubber, and I'm sure after playing this game, you'll never look at a car game the same way again. Now, let's talk about a game that will test your teamwork and co-op skills. Warhammer 40K Dark Tide. Honestly, I actually am not a fan of multiplayer games, but this Warhammer game is an exception. It is set in the grim, dark future of Warhammer 40K and follows a group of operatives as they fight against the forces of chaos. The drastic battles, ferocious enemies, and satisfying combat makes this game perfect for co-op gameplay. Maybe not everybody's cup of tea, but if you're a fan of Warhammer series or enjoy a good, intense multiplayer game, then Darkside is a must-try on the Xbox Series X. Now, for those of you who are just mentally, clinically, and just nuts and a just real sucker for messed up games, then Dead Space is the one for you, okay? While other scary horror games that I've mentioned earlier have their own special elements, Dead Space is just a sweetheart that is on a whole nother level of scary, okay? This 2023 remake of the classic game is a perfect blend of survival horror, sci-fi, and action. The improved graphics and sound design will make it just feel like you're really trapped on a freaking haunted spaceship fighting your life against termite creatures. Ah, shoot! Man, I thought I could keep my cool there. Now listen, if you're brave enough to enter the world of Dead Space, more power to you, but be prepared to scream, jump, and maybe even pee a little bit. I mean, maybe you won't, but you get what I mean. Last, but certainly not the least impressive game on our list is Diablo 4. This game is an absolute masterpiece that combines the best of Diablo 2 and 3 because the game manages to deliver a dark and sinister atmosphere with its beautiful graphics, smooth gameplay, and addictive loot system. The new open world concept is so well executed, it makes you want to explore every nook and cranny of the game. And of course, the highlight of Diablo 4 is its challenging boss fights that will make you want to scream, but in a good way. So if you're a fan of of the franchise or just love action RPGs, then this game is a must-have for your Xbox Series X collection. So there you have it, our top picks for the best Xbox Series X games of all time so far. Just know I couldn't cover all the games, okay? There's so many other amazing Series X games like Age of Empires 4, Yakuza Like a Dragon, Hitman 3, Far Cry 6, Resident Evil 4, Cyberpunk 2077, Dead Island 2, Control. There's so many, and there's many more that deserve an honorable mention. But one thing that I can guarantee you is that these games will not disappoint, okay? They will keep you entertained for hours on end. You're welcome. Now I hope this list has given you some inspiration for your next gaming adventure on the Xbox Series X. And maybe, who knows, maybe one of these games will become your new favorite. If you found this video to be helpful or just, well, entertaining, make sure to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Your support means the world to us, and it certainly helps us continue bringing you fantastic gaming content. So until next time, pick up that controller, let your imagination run wild in the amazing world of Xbox Series X.